Hello everyone and welcome to the OHC interview, an exclusive one featuring n0ah this time around, which is the Mappools selector for the tournament this year around. And hello there, n0ah, how are you?
I'm good, kind of sick. You might hear it in my voice, but ready to do this.
All right, let's at least get right into the nitty-gritty. Let's start with the first question, which is, as an introduction for people who aren't familiar with who you are, what is your involvement or role in the tournament scene in general?
I think most people would know me from mappooling. I've done a bunch. I've done like 15 tournaments in the past year, just mappooling or QATing them. Then I'm also commentating or just refereeing left and right. Maybe some scheduling. It's all on my profile page actually. I should have looked that through, I guess. And then well, I do play some tournaments myself as well.
All right, so you're a veteran in tournaments, and you did help out in a lot of tournaments. But what about also in general? Is there something else you've got going for yourself?
Well, yeah, I mentioned I play a lot. I play all four modes. I've played in OWC, so you could say I've had some experience at least. Also a global moderator, and I like to sometimes map as well. So kind of just do everything.
Yeah, right. You're the old loop mapper, right?
Oh, fuck
I
you.
All right. So as a mapper and a good map pooler, what is the goal for this year's OHC Mappools? Is there anything we could be expecting?
What I would like to achieve is to make the map pool as wide as possible while still being balanced and like of appropriate difficulty for each stage. Just laddering up and testing everyone for everything really.
All
And
right.
yeah, what should you expect? Well, hopefully just that.
All right. So your approach is more like take most skill sets you can find in the entirety of those and just divide them up onto the map pool.
Yeah, I want to mostly make the map pool around rewarding players for being able to do something, like just for people to be rewarded for winning a pick rather than being punished for not being able to do something. So let's say they can't do AR8 hidden, they shouldn't lose 2 or 3 maps for it. That kind of stuff.
All right. What would be some general groups of skill sets you would definitely look out for to include in your map pool?
Just skill sets in general. Obviously there's jumping, there's streaming, technical here and there, speed, reading, consistency, rounded maps that like don't really or that aren't heavily biased towards any playstyle, precision, balanced maps, and gimmicky left and right. You know the deal.
All right, yes. So we've got a broad variation of map pools, so you can definitely expect them to at least not be too one-sided in one way or another. So in that regard, even let's continue with what some challenges and pitfalls you should definitely avoid when it comes to map pooling, because as we've already talked about, you're looking at all these broad skill sets. What would be something? What would be a wrong thing to do when you want to make a really good map pool?
I do see a lot of people who, get the right concept. They want to spread things out as much as possible, but they over exaggerate. So I don't know, they spread it out too much so that everything basically becomes a gimmick, and there's nothing like just original in there, and overall people miss out on a bunch of like balancing tricks like macro and micro balancing. They just skip that all and look at what kind of map something is, and that I feel really hurts some people's pools. or just generally map pooling towards their own playstyle or preferences.
All right, so for getting the broader idea of what players can do and what players are, and just staying subjective is a huge issue you see in beginner map poolers.
Yeah, for sure. Or just not looking at CS, AR, OD, HP, BPM, length, how old the map is, what map rate was made by, that kind of stuff. Just, or even just picking, for example, what tilted me in a map pool earlier, or a couple of map pools back. I don't quite remember what tournament it was in, but I was playing it and it had exclusively anime music. Now, for someone who doesn't really like anime music particularly, and just like, you know, kind of plays it if they have to, it can be pretty tilting to just see pools that have exclusively one genre or artist even. So definitely spread that out as well. Just keep that in mind.
All right, all right. So on that case, actually, you've seen a lot of different map pools in different tournaments, and you've seen something you don't like and what you like. What were your favorite map pools from tournaments you've seen so far?
The favorite one that I've made myself was the round of 32 in the Jazz Summer Cup, which is actually still going on. I think my favorite pool for, well, that I didn't make myself, I believe it was OSST 2017, and then like the second or third stage that was really balanced. I think they did a good job there.
Do you know who the map poolers were on that situation?
I believe this is off the top of my head. So, Handsome, Kevin Sela, and like Rizia, Karen,
Mm-hmm.
and Sing, I think, but it could be Kite.
All
But I
right,
think
all
it's
right.
Sing.
You did say that you were an OWC player and a tournament veteran. OWC is pretty much the biggest tournament in the entire year. It's like a main event for all those players to come to. Well, unless OHC comes from the side and might take over, but we'll see. But the OWC last year did get a lot of heat and just a lot of criticism in general when it came to the map pool. How did you think the map pools were on a scale from 1 to 10, for example?
1 to 10, I would say just like a 5 or a 6, because I feel like they hit the center of the target, like dead on center with difficulty staircasing. I think they executed that perfectly or near perfectly. However, what I mentioned earlier, like the fact that they kind of let shine through what kind of maps they prefer, what kind of genre and music they prefer, just the overall repetitiveness, or even what I mentioned before, that spreading it out too much, because like that 300 BPM burst map, just straight up too gimmicky in my opinion for a pool, or Scarlet Rose or whatever. That's just
Mm-hmm.
I feel like is like a bit too much. Just not, it doesn't really belong in a tournament, because it doesn't test the skill that most players practice or shine in. And do that too much in a pool and it becomes a bad pool. And I think that's what kind of tilted players, because they were like, these aren't things most people consider skill or consistency. They're just a gimmick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did notice myself when playing the map pools. It did have some good ideas, as in approach rate 8, but sometimes in some rounds they overdid it. Like, how did you find that in the, I think after group stage in the round of 32, no, for a round of 16, I'm not sure right now. The finals the tiebreaker of the round was an approach rate 8 map, and the entire pool had like in total 4 approach rate 8 picks. Is that something you would definitely try to avoid, or is it okay to sometimes put in an approach rate tiebreaker?
I mean, putting in an approach a tiebreaker at times could be okay, but in a tournament this big, even though you can probably expect most people who get into such a tournament can play approach rate, I still feel like it shouldn't be the deciding factor. In a tiebreaker, I feel like you should test as much as possible, but not, have it be a map that if you're not able to do something, you can just not win the map anymore. And in this case, if you can't do AR8, then you're doomed for the map, regardless of if you can do every pattern, every jump on AR9, AR9.5, or whatever. If you can't do them on AR8, you're just doomed for the map. Whereas if you can do AR8 and the jumps, for example, and you just break on the streams, you still win, even though both of the players only lack in one area of skill. So that's why, for me personally, tiebreakers in AR, I would go for AR9 to 9.5, something like that.
All right, so you'd say testing a specific skill set as a tiebreaker is not something you would want to do, because it would favor one side of player a lot more than the other for being a forced map upon everyone.
Yeah, for sure. And in this case, because of the AR8, it's a constant factor. You can have a map that has some streams, some jumpy sections and stuff. That's just a section in the map that you drop on. But just to me, picking an AR8 map is the same as like picking a stream map. If you're not able to do a stream, you already lose, regardless of how equally matched you are on everything else. So I feel like definitely that should be balanced out, and AR8 is probably not the better call for it.
All right, then that will be it for the interview. Thanks for your time. Do you have anything else to say to the players or spectators anxiously awaiting the OHC?
Other than thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the pools and the matches. Not really, I guess.
All right, then thank you, n0ah, for being here, and I'm Omgforz. We are signing out. Thanks for watching.
See you guys next time.